I'd like to call this meeting of the Westland City Council order. I'll allow everybody to get somewhat to their seats. But then we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led today by Mr. Clerk Richard LeBlanc.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilman Godbout.
Present.
Councilwoman Green.
Present.
Councilman Hersberg. Pro Tem Londo.
Present.
Councilman McDermott. Councilwoman Rakowski is absent, excused. President Hart.
Here.
A quorum is present.
All right, we have a special presentation announcement today from Kyle Mulligan, our Parks and Recreation Director.
Good evening, everybody. City Council and the residents of Westland. I would first like to start tonight off by saying thank you to the members of the administration, city council members, and the residents who joined us this summer at the third Saturdays in the Park Cleanup Program. Last Saturday was our last one. It was a successful program, and we got to clean up a bunch of parks in the city with volunteer assistance, which was great. We will be continuing this program next year, so please be sure to keep your eye out for that schedule when we release it in the spring. That will be a continuing program moving forward. Second item tonight is I would like to again promote the City of Westland's Malloween Trunk or Treat event, Wednesday, October 27th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. This event is taking place at the JCPenney parking lot at the Westland Shopping Center. We are inviting all children 12 and under to dress in their costumes and come out for this fantastic event. We will have numerous local businesses and civic organizations with decorated trunks, handing out candy, as well as entertainment from the Dance Academy. And we will also be giving away pumpkins to the first 200 families who attend the event, so make sure you get there early before they are all gone. If anyone has any questions on the event, they can check cityofwestland.com or the City of Westland Administration Facebook page, or they can always call my department at 734-722-7620. We look forward to having the community out for this event. Again, JCPenney parking lot, Wednesday, October 27th from 5:30 to 7:30. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle. We'll now move to questions or input on the agenda. This section will allow a person to be recognized only at the beginning of the meeting to address the council pertaining to items that are specifically on the business agenda. Questions asked will be answered during the agenda following a motion and support from the council. Hold on. There we are. Is there anyone on my right? Is there anyone on my left? All right, I will close citizen comments on the agenda and move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion?
Support.
Motion by Councilman Londell, supported by Councilman Hersberg. Are there any changes to the consent calendar? Are there any changes to the consent calendar? Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Seeing none, motion carries unanimously.
Council has approved the following consent calendar items. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting held October 4, 2021. Approval of a request from Wayne County Parks to hold a 15-minute fireworks display at the Wayne County Life Fest opening on Thursday, November 18, 2021 at approximately 6:15 p.m. at the Merriman Hollow Picnic Area in Hines Park, located at Merriman Road and Hines Drive. Approval of J.C. Park quitclaim deed. Last item approved on the consent calendar. Adoption of City of Westland proclamation to proclaim October 29, 2021 as Turkish Republic Day in the City of Westland. Moving to new business, item 1, approval of voucher.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Godbout. Is there support? Supported by Councilman McDermott. Is there any dissent? Excuse me, any discussion? I apologize. Any discussion? Councilman McDermott?
Yes, just one thing in regards to, I saw the Humane Society payment in the vouchers. We had talked about when we had initially had the study session and then at the council meeting with the Humane Society, we'd be getting some kind of maybe quarterly or, yearly reporting from them. Do we know, are we on track to get any kind of reporting from the Humane Society? I guess that would be through the chair to the administration. Do apologize.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. Yeah, we're working on that. We've reached out to them. The only problem is they're just usually not forthcoming with that kind of stuff with us, so, but we are trying, and we'll have Hassan contact them again, see if we can't get that for you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Councilman Hertzberg.
Thank you. Yeah, when we voted on that Humane Society contract, I wanted to see that too, and we haven't. That's going to be coming up in January again, so if we could make sure we get that report before then, I would appreciate it. And then just as another request on the vouchers, on pages 8 and 14 for Highland Landscape ordinance cleanups, in the future, if we could just get those addresses that they're servicing as part of the vouchers, I would appreciate that too. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any other dissent? Any dissent? Seeing no dissent, motion carries unanimously. We now move to public comment. So at this point, the public can address the council. Everybody speaking before the council should do so in a civil manner. Speakers shall refrain from abusive or profane remarks, vulgar language, disruptive outbursts, threats, racial slurs, or other conduct that interferes with the business meeting. Personal attacks on council members, the administration, city staff, other speakers, or members of the public will not be tolerated. The clock will start upon the first words of the speaker and will not stop while the speaker is recognized from the floor. It is the speaker's option to ask questions at this time, and the person questioned may choose to respond during the speaker's allotment of time. However, the clock will not be stopped once it is started. Is there anybody on my right? Anyone on my left? Yes.
Lori Wilson, Southeast Westland Homeowners Association, and I'm sure you all know that Mrs. Riester Everett passed away on Saturday. So on behalf of the homeowners, I would ask for a moment of silence, as she was and will continue to be historically relevant in our community. She has lived in Annapolis Park on Julius for over 60-plus years. She was always an advocate for voting. She was one person who got out and walked door to door and actually had people in our community. This has been years ago. A lot of them have passed on to actually register to vote. So I would ask right now that the city of Westland give a moment of silence in reverence to, well, not reverence, but in honor of Miss Everett. Thank you. And I also want to tell Chief Jerusik, thank you. And at some point in time, I'd like to know the amount of tickets or how many stops that were made down there in our end during this period of time with that construction on Van Born. I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone on my right? Anyone on my left? Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is October 18th, 2021. I'm here on behalf of the Citizens Against Corruption for Westland. They asked me to be their spokesperson. I want to ask the council in their concluding remarks today if they ever got a copy of the sanitation contract from the mayor before voting on it. The reason I'm asking that is, according to our city charter, it states that before any contract is given, we're supposed to have competitive bidding. Well, the mayor seems to want to violate that law, because on page 3, item 3, it says the term of this contract, 10 years commencing so-and-so. On the next statement, upon expiration of the contract shall continue month to month under the previous terms and provisions at the time of expiration. That's on page 3, item 3. Well, that seems to be in strict violation of our city charter, and I'd like to have that checked out. It's a violation of the charter, and our mayor doesn't seem to like to follow the regulations that the rest of us have to. Also, we have a toxic dump next to the court. It's fenced in. I call it our Chernobyl, like Russia had when they had that nuclear problem. All they did was cap it. And that's what we've done. It's a highly toxic dump. And we have the playground right next to it. And it's been going on ever since the mayor's been in office. It's ridiculous. And we're going to get a $25 million windfall. And I'd like to see that money used. That needs to all be dug out and dirt put in there for the safety of all the citizens. And you have all these children right next to it. The other thing is, the mayor has placed Westland in the same place Detroit was 8 years ago. Detroit had to have an emergency manager to come in because they primarily gave out too many, they got in too deep with pensions. And our mayor's done the same thing. He gave out highly toxic pensions. The contract had 2 more years to go. He inserted a letter of agreement and gave away the store, let these people buy out 5 years generic buyout money, and then he confiscated that money. The police and fire are really outraged about it. They say he embezzled the money because none of the money went into the police and fire pension
Mr.
plan.
Rock, you can't accuse somebody of
And,
embezzlement.
That money by law, any generic buyout money is supposed to go into the pension plan. And he put it in his general fund, is what he did.
Your time's up, Mr. Rock. Thank you. Is there anyone on my right? Sir.
Hey, Tony Parton, precinct delegate, Westland 30. It's been a while since I've been here. So I gotta come and stir the fur a little bit. The first thing I'd like to talk about, as I was walking for candidates during the primary, I got a lot of feedback from residents in regards to a rat problem in Westland. Just wanted to bring that before you. I know you've heard it. Is there anything that can be done about such a thing? Maybe putting out some informational to the residents to, this lady was giving me all sorts of ideas how to defeat the rat problem. So that's something we should probably look at. I've got a lot of stuff. The second point is through the chair to the city clerk. Has there been any movement on removing Deborah Folks from the ballot?
Deborah Folks has not been removed from the ballot through a decision by the Third Circuit Court. So in effect, no, there has been no movement.
Okay, so we know that she did a fraudulent affidavit to file for running for office and nothing has been done? Through the chair again. Okay, I'll leave that one late because I've got a lot to get to. My third point is that I wanted to throw out an idea, maybe renaming Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, and instead of blues and R&B, have country and western music. I think you guys will sell a lot of tickets to that and get a lot of people to come. Let's see. On the day of the primary, I noticed that 2 of the candidates had actually placed their signs on City Hall property. I think that was not cool, and I'm pretty sure it was a violation of a campaign sign law. I'm not going to call them out, but you know who you were. I don't want Jim to get mad at me. Let's see. My other point here. If your state rep is any Republican or state rep Kevin Coleman, Steenland, Sneller, Liberati, thank them for voting for HB 4667 to ban government vaccine passports. And ask them to tell you whether or not they're going to vote to support HB 4471 to prohibit employers from firing people who don't take the experimental drug with no long-term studies of side effects. And let's go, Brandon. Thank you.
Okay, anybody on my left? Anyone else on my right? All right, we'll close citizens' comments and move to comments from the administration. Deputy Mayor?
Thanks, Council President. Just real brief, we'll work on getting that report to City Council from the Humane Society. And just wanted to thank Lori Wilson for recognizing Mrs. Everett. That was very kind. Some kind words, and that was very nice to do. That's all. Thank you.
All right, anything from the Attorney's Office today?
No, nothing this evening.
Thank you. We'll now move to council comments. We'll begin tonight with Councilman Hertzberg.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to say rest in peace to Ms. Riester Everett. You know, I've only been involved in politics in Westland for 10 years. She had me beat by 6 or 7 times. She was a longtime community and political activist. She always inspired me and encouraged me to do better and gave me a lot of advice when I was starting out in the way I was dealing with things. And, you know, she even continued to attend council meetings up until this year. Feels like it was only maybe a couple months ago she was sitting in the council chambers here, and she always was willing to speak out against things that she thought were wrong. So, and that was important to me. She'll be missed. Just want to send my condolences to the Everett family. And then just a quick comment. I know I talked to one of the council members about it. We've got a couple of new businesses popping up in town, and they're technically small banquet halls, but they're classifying themselves as event spaces. You know, I have a problem with them going in the middle of strip malls. You know, I patronized a business that was 2 doors down the other night in a strip mall while they were having a party. And you could hear the music 3 doors down inside a loud kitchen. You could hear the music from that party. So I don't know how it was to the neighboring businesses. There was quite a bit of drinking, open intox in the parking lot. It was basically a free-for-all, so I really want to see that council do something about that, whether it's creating a special land use for these in the future. I don't know what we can do about the ones that are existing. If we can limit the hours, anything we can do. It's becoming a nuisance I've talked to quite a few neighboring businesses. There's about, I want to say 5 or 6 of these event spaces that have popped up. And they're not all having issues like this, you know. Some of them are having baby showers and whatnot throughout the day, and that's not a big deal, but I do have an issue when you just want to have a party and the owner's not there, and then you have no feelings, or you don't care about the neighboring businesses or what you're doing to the place or in the parking lot. It's not right. So I do want to see something come forward on our agenda to take care of that problem. That'll be it for me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green.
Thank you. I'd like to remind the community that this will be the last city council meeting that we have before the November 2nd election in terms of the meeting airing. So those of you who will be watching the city council video, you probably won't see the next video until either election day or the day after. So I just wanted to give a reminder that there is a major election happening on Tuesday, November the 7th here in Westland. Polls open at 7 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. Early voting, if you want to vote by absentee, is taking place now in the city. You can come to City Hall and stop by the clerk's office and vote the same day. You can also register to vote on the spot and vote the same day via absentee ballot. So again, please exercise your vote so that your voice and your representation will be that which you desire. If you have any questions on where to vote, because we have had some of our precincts change, locations change, please feel free to contact the clerk's office at 734-467-3191. Again, 734-467-3191. I wanted to also just briefly take a moment to recognize Mrs. Everett, Esther Everett, who was like a second grandmother to me. My relationship with Mrs. Everett was not one of a friendship. Mrs. Everett was literally like family to me. I would talk to Mrs. Everett 2-3 times a week. You know, we go to breakfast, lunch, we'd sit on the phone or over a meal and laugh about some of the madness that is Westland politics. And it was good to be able to bounce thoughts off of someone who was very wise and who really cared about this community and wanted the city of Westland to be great and to be fair and equal in all of its practices. Mrs. Everett, at one time in her life, marched with Dr. Martin Luther King, and she continued her fight for justice even here in the city of Westland up until the time that she left this earth. Her family allowed me the ability to be with Mrs. Everett and them multiple days that she was in the hospital, even up until she passed away, and I'm very grateful for that. This is not something that we should be doing, and you know, a moment of silence should be coming from people who loved Mrs. Everett, who honored Mrs. Everett. I think you need to control her. Thank you. Who honored Mrs. Everett. The Southeast Homeowners Association, which I was a member of for multiple years, I witnessed that association disrespect Mrs. Everett beyond belief up until the moment that she left this earth. I witnessed the members who sit in this audience tonight, and I witnessed them disrespect her. I witnessed them remove her from a position that she sat in for decades, which was an area manager. I witnessed under the leadership of Arthur Warren and Lori Wilson, her being removed.
That's personal attacks.
No,
Hold
that's
on,
not
hold
a
on.
personal attack.
Order.
The
Order.
truth is the truth,
Order.
and I will not be
Order.
silenced. Thank you.
5-minute recess.
You don't have the ability to do that without, you got to call a roll call. Follow the rules. You don't have the jurisdiction
Roll
to
call.
do it.
Roll call.
I need a motion and support.
Motion for roll call. Or
Motion for recess.
excuse me.
On what grounds are we
support?
having this,
Their support?
this is, you're
support.
going to try to silence me because I'm telling the truth of a woman who was like my grandmother?
A motion on the floor. We have a motion on the
It's
floor.
been moved and supported
Who
to enter a
supported it?
5-minute
Who supported
recess.
it? Who was the supporter?
President Hart.
You supported the motion that you
Councilman
refused
Godbout.
to
He made the
call
motion.
for?
Councilwoman Green.
No, and I'll be having my exact same comments when we come
Councilman
back.
Hersberg.
No.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott.
No.
President Hart.
Yes.
Motion fails.
Motion fails. Thank
I
you.
understand how it works. Please continue.
Thank you. And if you would control people in the audience from acting
Now you're-
like a
you're attacking
16
me
year,
now.
no, I'm not. You let her, you allow her to do this every meeting.
Order.
They have outbursts, and you attack the people that she's
Order.
attacking.
Order.
I'm asking you to be consistent, and nobody will
Order.
silence me when I'm speaking about Mrs. Everett.
Motion for a recess again. We gotta have order.
Support.
You got roll call.
Roll call.
Give me 1 second. Councilman Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
No.
Councilman Hersberg.
No.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott. No. President Hart.
Yes.
Motion
Motion
fails.
fails.
I'm aware how it works.
This is ridiculous. As I was stating, I've sat in meetings over the years and I witnessed them remove Mrs. Everett from the area manager, which was a seat that she maintained for decades in the city of Westland, which broke her heart. I witnessed the comments from Lori Wilson and Arthur Warren that publicly.
Or personal
No,
attacks.
This is not a personal attack. Please,
I
please
agree.
explain what a personal attack is.
Personally attacking members of the audience.
No, I'm not.
In the verbiage.
In what manner? I'm speaking the truth. Were you present for any of the meetings? No, you weren't.
Order.
You weren't present for any of the meetings, and you're not going to
Order.
silence the truth.
Yep.
Good night. As I was stating, I sat in the meetings, and
Order.
I sat in meetings. I have recordings of Arthur Warren and Lori Wilson. You cannot, if you disrespect me like that, it's
Can't.
gonna be a problem.
Council
I
comments.
sat
get their
in
chance to
meetings
speak.
and witnessed them disrespect Mrs. Everett beyond belief.
Order.
Oh,
Order.
goodness. For
Order.
you to come in here and give her, or attempt to acknowledge her in the way that you all disrespected Mrs. Everett is very offensive and very distasteful. It is fraudulent and unauthentic. And I do not.
Personal attack.
President, please, these are personal attacks.
These are not
What would you
personal
have me
attacks.
do?
It's something that you don't want me to
Personal
say.
attacks.
It's
These
not
are
a personal
violations of
attack.
the
I
policies
was
and
present.
procedure.
I have recordings.
Councilwoman,
This is
I have
true.
ruled on this.
I don't care what you ruled
I
on.
have
I'm
ruled
not.
on
You
this as a
can't. You
personal
can't take
attack.
away my freedom of speech.
You have to follow the policies and procedures.
I'm not making
These
a
are
personal attack.
You
I'm
don't
telling
think
the
you are,
public
but the
what
rest
they
of us
did
do.
to her.
Okay.
I'm informing the public of
Yeah.
what they did
Make
to
the
her.
motion to adjourn.
And I do not appreciate.
A motion to
I do
adjourn
not
by Councilman
appreciate
Londo.
What occurred.
Is there support?
And this is completely unfortunate. No, there's no support.
There's support from Councilman Godbout.
You don't have the ability to just abruptly end a council meeting.
Oh.
You don't have the ability to do that. On what grounds? Your arrogance is atrocious. It is atrocious
I don't
as
think
a
it's
council
mine.
president.
Mr. Clerk,
And you
roll
let
call
them
for
sit in
motion to
here
adjourn.
every meeting and have outbursts like they're 16, and you never
Council
address
President.
them. You never address them.
Mr. Clerk,
And
On the
I'll
motion
be
to
having the
adjourn,
same-
Councilman
I'll have the
Godbout.
same kind by,
Councilman Hersberg, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Green,
no.
Councilman Hersberg. Pro Tem Londo,
Yes.
Councilman McDermott,
No.
President Hart.
yes.
Motion fails.
As I was stating, so you didn't hear him?
Everybody's out of,
Are you
Mr. Warren?
not going to address the
Mr.
outbursts
Warren.
from the audience?
I'm trying to get everybody to stop. This will get a lot better if everybody
Because
acts like an
You allow
adult.
them to do this to
5-minute
people
recess.
every meeting.
Another
You
motion
allow
for a
them to do
5-minute
this to
recess.
people.
Is there support?
Support from McDermott.
Support from McDermott. Roll call.
Councilman Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
No.
Councilman Hersberg.
Yes.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott. President Hart.
Yes.
We are adjourned for 5 minutes at 7:28 PM.
Calling ourselves back to order at 7:33.
Do we need a motion to go back, Mr. Clerk?
I guess.
Motion to go back into public meeting. Support.
Is there any discussion? Any dissent? We are back into our meeting.
This time I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there support? Support. There's support. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
On the motion to adjourn, Councilman Godbout.
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
No.
Councilman Hersberg.
No.
Pro Tem Londo.
Yes.
Councilman McDermott. President Hart.
Yes. We are adjourned.
We are adjourned.